My name is Claire Bourgeois. I'm the new director of Schiller International University in Paris, and I'm very, very happy to be here with you today. This event is here to present you all the programs we have in Schiller International University here in Paris, mostly in Paris, but also in all our campuses. So just to give you some history, some background about Schiller. Schiller was founded in 1964 by Dr. Walter Leibrecht, and you will learn about him when you study with us. But he gave the name of this university from the German poet and philosopher John Christopher Friedrich von Schiller from the 18th century, and the values that are attached to the poet and philosopher are very important to us, and that's why the name Schiller is something that we value, and we want to, in this university, include students from all over the world seeking in Paris for the Schiller Paris campus, an American study program in an international setting. As the director of Schiller here, I've been amazed to see how international is the community here in Paris. It's very rare. I have a background in higher education, and it's the first time that I see so many students from all over the world united in the same place. So that's very interesting. It gives a very particular flavor to this place in Paris. So the history of Schiller is also to focus on the value of a globalized education environment and trying to educate citizens for the world, and who are interculturally competent, who can meet other people and bring forward their project for the future. So we try to educate our students to cultivate themselves a learning mindset. So you will learn also to learn when you're with us. It's very important, and you will learn also to be critical, to learn how to avoid fake news and etc., and to be really alert citizen, to be thinking for yourself, by yourself, and to be competent in those fields. You will find a community here in Schiller, also with the other students, and you will be able to embrace diversity, because diversity is important to us, as I said. And with the program that we have here, you will be able to design your own journey and try to find the way to your training and your objective, professional objective for the future. So that's going to be very interesting, and it's what our Deputy Director, Raphael Barry, is going to introduce you now.
Thank you, Claire. So we have 4 campuses. It's an American university with 4 campuses, 3 in Europe, in France, Paris campus, Madrid campus in Spain, and Heidelberg in Germany, and Tampa campus in the US. We have also Schiller students coming to Schiller. They could do one program, but earn 2 degrees, 1 American from Schiller and 1 British from the University of Roehampton in London, since the partnership started in 2014. There is the possibility to transfer between campuses for students without losing credits, because it's one university. We are focused on 1 subject per month, so students study 1 subject, 3 credit hours per month. They are also the language is English, the main language at the university, but the students are encouraged to learn French, Spanish, or German while they are in the European campuses. Our university is focused on the smaller group experience, so our classes are small. They are around 15 students per class. We have more than 100 countries. Students, they are coming from more than 100 countries, and we have the possibility for scholarship and financial aid scholarship for international students, but also financial aid for the American students. That said, we have also different, now I will present the different programs. At Paris campus, we have the Bachelor of International Business. We have a Bachelor in International Relations and Diplomacy. My colleagues will be speaking later on. The professors Shao Li and Professor Costas Matilias will speak about the programs. Then we have the Bachelor in Digital Business in a partnership with ISDI Digital. So, we have former students who's working in the digital sector. She will be speaking later on. Cecilia Carroll, she's graduated from Schiller. We have a Bachelor in Computer Science that's just we starting with, and the Master of International Marketing. For the Masters, we have a Master of Business Administration. We have an MBA in Business Administration, and we have a Master in International Relations and Diplomacy. This is at Paris campus. We offer all these programs. And in addition, as we have other programs in other campuses that we will be sharing. The one that we don't have in Paris is the Bachelor in International Economics, the Bachelor in International Hospitality and Tourism Management. We have the Master in International Management that we don't have in Paris, the Master in International Hospitality and Tourism Management, and the MBA in Management of Information Technology. This is in the European campuses, and then the MBA Executive, and then the last thing is the Associate Degree in International Business. These are the programs that we have at Schiller. They are very wide. Students could transfer from one campus to another after 2 semesters, and they could study in a very multicultural diversity at the campus, but also they could gain an experience by moving from one campus to another. Some of the students, they decide after 2 semesters to move from one campus to another to gain an international experience too, while another experience in another campus. I will leave the floor to my colleagues.
So Mr. Mistiades, who is a professor at Schiller in International Relations and Diplomacy, is going to introduce the program in Schiller.
Well, good afternoon, Madam Director. Good afternoon, colleagues, dear students and participants. Very briefly on the outset, I would like to thank and congratulate the organizers of this conference for this initiative. And of course, I would like to welcome all the participants that will be following us from Teams and other platforms. But let me just first introduce myself in a few seconds. I had begun my professional life as lecturer in sociology and statistics, and I completed my career as a senior diplomat in the Foreign Service of the Republic of Cyprus. I served in a number of postings, both bilateral and multilateral, as well as held positions at the ministry in Nicosia. I completed my career as ambassador to the Political and Security Committee of the European Union in Brussels. And having spent most of my diplomatic career dealing with European Union foreign and security policy issues, the general areas of my interest lie at the intersection of international peace and security, crisis management, and international negotiations aiming at solving conflicts. I hold degrees from American universities in sociology, economics, and also a master's degree from in international relations from the University of Panthéon-Assas Paris 2. At Schiller, I have been teaching various courses on diplomacy, both at undergraduate and graduate levels, and on international relations, theories, international negotiations, and so on. Now, with these few words, let me say a few things very briefly about our 2 programs in international relations. The bachelor's program aims at preparing students preparing students to pursue careers in intergovernmental agencies, international and or regional organizations, national or international NGOs, international business settings, and of course, journalism. It also aims at preparing students to pursue their graduate studies, either in the same field or in history, political science, social science, and so forth. The master's program also aims at providing graduate students with advanced knowledge and experience in order to allow them to effectively pursue careers, also in government and in the areas that I've mentioned briefly earlier. Now, the master's program is designed to integrate previous education and possible previous professional experience while expanding on knowledge to allow for the effective participation in the international environment of structures and organizations, both national and international, governmental or non-governmental. The program also prepares graduate students to further pursue their academic studies if they wish to do so. In addition, I would like to pick on a point that was made earlier by Rafid Jabari, that in addition to obtaining an undergraduate or a graduate degree from Schiller, the university offers the additional possibility of a dual degree option in collaboration with the University of Roehampton in the United Kingdom. Now, the main part of what I want to say today is about the professional careers and skills which are involved following graduation. Both programs, both the bachelor and the master's program, are designed to equip and empower students pursuing careers in international relations and global leadership with the mindset and the professional skills required to successfully fulfill their professional objectives. And the university, through its networking, also provides opportunities to students for internships in their search for gaining practical experience following graduation. As I said earlier, the programs open the path for a number of different professional careers. I will not repeat them, as you can easily access them through the Schiller's website. I would rather concentrate on the experience I have gained from my 20 years plus as a diplomat, and what I have learned through the interactions, mostly through my colleagues. First is about skills. Today's workplace requires more than just knowledge, diplomas, and experience. It is by far more demanding than in the past, when just simply demonstrating an understanding of international relations, concepts, and ideas, speaking an additional language was enough for someone to get a position in an organization like those I've mentioned earlier. Today, the key to successful recruitment lies on the ability also to connect your academic interest and background to what one could call the real world skills. And in other words, displaying competence in effective oral and written communication and applying analytical and critical thinking, as the director mentioned earlier, as it relates to international relations and diplomacy, is only a start. Learning about IR theories and concepts and being able to apply these theories and concepts is another quality, but they're not enough. This leads me to my second point. The 21st century diplomat needs a number of additional qualities and skills, and I use the term diplomat in its broader sense, since today, Bill Gates, Angelina Jolie, George Clooney, and Bono, to name only but a few celebrities, are also considered by many as diplomats. Now, one of the most pressing demands on the 21st century diplomat is the imperative to keep pace with these dynamic changes. Over the last 3 decades or so, the information, communication, and technological revolutions and globalization have changed dramatically the world around us. Time and space shrunk. International relations, foreign policy, diplomacy, negotiations have not only entered our living rooms through our TV sets, but they're also in the palm of our hands via the social media. Therefore, diplomacy has adapted, and we have added new terms in our lexicon to describe this challenging phenomena: artificial intelligence, big data, cyber diplomacy, space, city diplomacy, digital diplomacy, and so on. Now, with those profound changes, diplomacy had to adapt, and it actually did. Both the methods and the objectives of diplomacy are wider than ever before. Modern diplomacy is no longer the preserve of foreign ministries and state representatives. It increasingly involves and incorporates the citizen diplomat, all of us. Now, and I'm concluding, while I do not claim to be the Moses of diplomacy, but through my career, I came up with a number of commandments, if I would call them so, or rather key takeaways, not necessarily in the order that I will present them, but they come to my mind, and I would like to share those ideas with you for whatever value these may have. So, first, most people think that international relations and diplomacy is about talking. It is not. Successful diplomats listen first. Therefore, my advice, learn to be an effective listener. Listen also to what has not been said, because sometimes the most important things is not said or is not done. Then, communication skills. Develop oral and written skills. No matter how many things one knows, they will not matter unless they are clearly expressed. Learn to brief, to write briefly, to the point, and quickly. And the superiors sometimes don't have time to waste. And we should tell them something they don't know, something that adds value and in a timely way. Keep up with technological advances and use them effectively as a means to reach out to different audiences. Be always mindful of different people, different audiences, and their sensitivities. Another skill is to be able to cultivate long-term relationships and build rapport with the other people you're engaging with, be it your classmates, your professors, and later on in your career, your colleagues. Enhance your team spirit, build and enlarge your network. Languages, foreign languages, important. Learn as many as you can. In international environments, it is fundamental to understand and appreciate different cultures. Empathy. Always put yourself in the shoes of the other person. Empathy expands the sets of options one has for resolving problems. The better you understand the other side perspective, the more likely you are to find a solution. History. Studying history is fundamental, but we need to deeply reflect on how we interpret it and what lessons are to be drawn from those past historical events. Be resilient. Things often very hopeless at the start. Start with what you know and continue adding in more and more on what you know until there's nothing left of what you know. Learn to plan and to craft effective strategies to meet the issues of the problem at hand. No strategy is good enough without a well-thought plan. Unexpected situations often require quick decisions, and you need to have a solid plan in the first place to carry out your strategies. Pay attention to details. And here I quote something from King Lear, when the Earl of Kent said to King Lear, "I will teach you differences. Things may look the same, but at best they are similar. No situation is the same to another, and oftentimes we think narrowly when superficial similarities between events seem compelling, and we make the wrong assumptions and we come up with the wrong arguments and eventually the wrong answers. Another important skill, study facts. First, examine the facts. Interpreting the facts is another process and it comes later. So be mindful always of the assumptions, and that's another important skill. And nowadays, with all the complexities that I've mentioned earlier, learn to distill information. There is too much information out there. Figure out what is important and focus on what matters. Verify and critically think about what you read, what you hear, and what you report to your superiors. Also, be prepared to support your ideas with good arguments. Great decision makers are not interested by the right answers. They are interested by good arguments. And related to that is that you need to be curious and to ask questions. Not only the important questions, but the fundamental questions. Why in the long run, the fundamentals? Because in the long run, the fundamentals are of the essence. We have to inquire why this event happens. Why does it happen now? What are the causes of this event? What drives parties to behave in certain ways? And to conclude, three more skills that I found of importance throughout my career is to accept challenging duties and responsibilities. Sometimes you may have to learn it the hard way, but on those occasions, you'll still enrich yourself faster, better, and the process will be yours forever. And on feedback is important. Feedback is very difficult to give, but feedback is more difficult to receive. However difficult this process is, always welcome feedback. And finally, to conclude these 22 commandments, remember that every problem needs to be solved and be ready for this challenge. Now, with these few words, I would like just to mention that whether you're participating live in this conference or watch this video later on, you probably consider joining Schiller. So myself, I joined Schiller 2 years ago, and I rely on using in Schiller theoretical approaches balanced with practice. And the students, in my view, can gain a first-hand experience and can appreciate what can be learned in class can be applied in the real world by using analytical and critical thinking skills.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor Miltiades.
Okay.
It was really interesting, and thank you for all the advice for the students who listened to us today. I'm sure that they know that they will learn a lot of things with you, and you gave them already some good advice. So now we're going to listen to Dr. Lee, who is going to present the programs in international business. So it's your turn if you wish, Mrs. Lee. This is for you.
All right, thank you. First, I'd like to say I was really impressed by this very insightful life lesson that my colleagues has just shared with us. I have definitely personally learned quite a lot from it. And I think what Costa have just mentioned also revealed this essence of higher education. That is to say, it's not just for you to get a job, but also for you to become a very holistic person in this very chaotic world that we're living. All right, so I'm going to take the relay here for the international business program. So first, very brief self-introduction. My name is Xiao Yu. I'm the program lead of Bachelor's Degree in International Business here at Schiller. I joined Schiller in 2015, that is 7 years ago. And I've been a very happy and proud Schiller member ever since. So my expertise are mainly in ESG investment and international management, especially for human capital strategies and organizational restructuring. I've been working with many universities, corporations, and research agencies on these matters. And I collaborated with a European Union think tank on diversity and inclusion. So before sharing with you the program in IB, I would like to first share with you my own experience working as a professor at Schiller. So just give you a close-in look at what the school is like from a teacher's perspective. So for the last 7 years of growing together with Schiller, this school has become one of my favorite schools among the many organizations with whom I worked. And the reason is very simple. It's one of these rare pearls in terms of how this is student-centered. Because of the teacher-student ratio mentioned earlier by my colleague, we have this great proximity with our students. So that's to say, different from certain overcrowded universities where I also lectured, let's say 200 other students in this huge amphitheater. How much attention can a professor grant to each individual student at the end of the day? It's very debatable, right? So here at Schiller, we do the opposite. The class size is very optimized. And there's always this great emphasis on following each individual student so we can build a real connection. We have put into places these one-on-one follow-up for students with academic difficulties or students who need psychological support. So for instance, during the recent lockdown period here in France, we took lots of initiatives to make sure that our students can reach us for any confinement-related issues, be that academic, professional, or emotional. So that is for students who have a cry for help, so to speak. And for students with specific aspiration, we also adapt our pedagogical plans accordingly. So for instance, we have very tailored assistance to their job interviews or to their entrepreneurial ambition. That is to say, if they want to start their own business, right? And equally important in our IB program in international business, we are very active in engaging professionals into our teaching teams or our advisory board, right? So students can be exposed to the most up-to-date real-life business information with some of the best minds in their fields. So we're very forward-looking in this regard, because the goal for us, once again, is not to simply offer a degree, but to really make sure that this educational experience you're going to have will be translated into your future career or being a holistic person. Okay, so specifically, all right, let me share with you the concrete aspects of our program, the curriculum, and what you can expect from a degree in international business. Okay, so international business program is aimed for students who are motivated to have both intellectual and professional skills to become not only employable, but also successful key players in international business. That being said, at the bachelor's level, you will acquire the fundamentals through subject matters such as economics, finance, accounting, cross-cultural communication, marketing, organizational behavior, business law, among many other subjects, okay, with a very special emphasis on employability. And at the master's level, the MBA degree is for students who want to deepen their skills after bachelor's education with more in-depth studies, where there will be more advanced inquiry, more exposure and networking to professionals, and more comprehensive business seminars, especially with an interdisciplinary approach. So what I mean by that, let's give you an example. If you are about to apply for the job of a, say, equity analyst, right? During the interview, the interviewer is definitely going to ask you questions beyond the scope of pure finance, right? There will be questions about economy, about management styles, etc. That's why we really want to focus on students' capacity to connect the dots through an interdisciplinary method, okay? And as for the career prospect of international business, I say that it's very abundant, to say the very least. Now, traditionally, one might be thinking about careers in international sales, marketing, finance, PR, research, etc. But as I mentioned before, we are very forward-looking. So with our program, we also try to expose students to professions of the future, such as business data analysis, digital management, media planning, etc. And what I have personally noticed is that even if people's final career choice is not economy related, an education in business could be very, very valuable, because what you learn are the analytical skills to understand whatever organization, business venture, and economic systems out there. So as long as you are living in a human society, to understand the way business is carried out is critical for you to navigate in this world. That's why I think that an IB program is one of those degrees that can hold you down to earth and enable you to walk to wherever you want with confidence, right? So I encourage you to look into the opportunities of this program, and I'll be very happy to answer any questions later if there's any.
I wanted to thank our two professors who gave very good advice for students who are listening to us today, and maybe we will be studying afterwards at Schiller. And now I will let the floor to Clémence Pigeon, who is an admission representative at Schiller, and she will also give you some advice on how to apply and to join us as a student at Schiller.
Great, thank you very much. So welcome everybody. I hope you've gathered some important information following the presentation of our two professors. I wanted to share with you some information that we've probably been over as we have been in contact either with myself or with my colleague Lala, who's also part of the Paris admissions team. So we'll just go over the main documents that are required through the application process to join either our bachelor's degree or our master's degree on our Paris campus, but also throughout in all of our campuses in Schiller. So first, we'll ask you to fill out an application form that we will be able to send to you, as well as an enrollment agreement. And next, we will ask you to provide a few important documents, which will be your transcripts and your diplomas. So for any students applying for the bachelor's degree, that will be your high school credentials. And for students applying to our master's degree, it will be your high school as well as your bachelor's transcripts and diploma. Something important to note is that if you graduated from a new university that is non-American, we will ask you to provide an external evaluation of those documents, just to make sure that the GPA lines up and that you are eligible to enter your program of choice. Also, very important, we will ask you for a motivation letter. So what we're looking for in that motivation letter is really why you think Schiller International University is a good fit for you, why you think this specific program that you're interested in fits with your career goals and your interests, at the moment and in the future. So please don't be shy to share those with us. And also why you think you would be an asset for our university. So we're really looking to learn more about you, your interests, your background, academic and more personal, if you've have any work experience or even have participated in groups or associations in your high school. So please let us know a little bit more about you. Also, very important for any student that has not that is not national of a country with English as an official language, we will ask you to provide an English proficiency test result. So we accept a number of tests, notably TOEFL, TOEIC, IELTS, and now the Duolingo test as well. So if you have any questions about that, please let me know, and I'll be able to go through those questions with you. We'll also ask you for a proof of ID, so either your passport or any ID that you have. So these are the main documents that are needed. Obviously, you will then send us those documents by email. We will ask you for the originals once you start your courses on campus. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to come in contact with us. We'll be more than happy to help you.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
Thank you, Clémence. So I think everybody has noted the papers and diplomas that we needed for admissions. And thank you for all those details. And people will find at the end of this presentation a phone number if they need to call you, or an email address. And now we're very happy to have an alumni with us, Cecilia Carroll. And she studied a few years ago at Schiller. I think now she's working in marketing, and she's going to tell us about her experience at Schiller, and also maybe a little bit about the new program we have in digital business. Welcome, Cecilia, and thank you very much for being with us tonight.
All right, thank you. Hello, everyone. So I'm really excited to be with you all today and to kind of share my experience at Schiller, and also talk just a little bit about what I'm actually doing today. So my name is Cecilia Carroll. I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois. I moved to Paris in 2016 to do my MBA in International Business at Schiller, and I graduated in 2018 after completing my thesis. So today I'm working as a digital marketing specialist at a company called Linkurious. It's a French company that provides a solution to financial institutions. Basically what the solution is for is to combat financial crime such as fraud, money laundering, or terrorism financing. And we're around 40 employees that are representing over 16 different countries. So it's really a diverse workplace. But essentially, my responsibilities in that role encompass all things digital. So as you can imagine, that's quite a lot of things. More specifically, my role includes running a lot of campaigns via email, social media, a lot of digital advertising on platforms like LinkedIn and Google, with the goal to drive traffic to our site and create leads. A few other of my responsibilities are to help run some webinars, create landing pages that are used in our campaigns, and I also manage all of our marketing automation tools. So the reason I chose Schiller for my studies, there are several reasons, but first and foremost, it was because I was pursuing an international degree, and I really wanted to have kind of the firsthand experience internationally. Prior to moving to Paris, I had only ever left the US once. So I really thought, what better way to actually immerse myself into a new culture than, move abroad to Paris, which in my opinion was really like the cultural hub of Europe. So the problem, of course, was that at the time, my French was very limited. And I really think that's an overstatement because it was almost non-existent, if I'm being honest. So the fact that the courses were taught in English at Schiller was a major, major plus. I also really appreciated the fact that there were several campuses around the world that I could choose from. And also the course structure, with it being kind of an intensive course on one subject per month. I thought it gave you a lot more flexibility that you can't really find at other schools. So that was really interesting to me. And then, of course, kind of to highlight a point that was mentioned a little earlier was the class sizes are relatively small. So you really get to know your classmates, you really get to know your professors one-on-one, rather than just being, a number in a sea of students. And after starting my program, it was pretty clear to me that I made the right choice. I was really excited to be working with students and professors from all different walks of life. I think that really helps enrich an education, and it also helped prepare me to work in such a diverse workplace like the one I'm working in today. Something I kind of think you'll notice when you join Schiller is that the entire team is really willing and able to help out the students. Personally, I have to give a little shout out to Professor Jabari, who I really felt went above and beyond to help myself and some other students at Schiller with our visas. But I believe that that's the kind of support that you're going to receive when you join Schiller. Everyone is there available and willing to help. And I would also recommend that you seek out advice from other students too. I think that's a little difficult to do when you're first starting at a new school or a new program or even moving to a new country. But it's important to remember that we're all going through kind of the same thing. So don't shy away from using your peers as support also. And then finally, I wanted to talk about the new digital business program that Schiller is launching in September. As I mentioned before, I'm working as a digital marketing specialist. So I am particularly excited about this program to see that it's being implemented at Schiller. As you may know, everything today is digital. So I think it's extremely important to kind of get the hands-on experience that you'll get with this new program. I'm very much a learn by doing type of person, so being able to kind of dig into those things, I think is going to be really beneficial. And then also, there's so many job opportunities that are going to require digital skills. So I think pursuing this type of degree is actually really going to help you gain a competitive advantage when you start your career. And lastly, just to kind of wrap up, I just wanted to say that, I wouldn't be here today speaking to all of you if I wasn't truly, happy with my experience at Schiller. I made lifelong friends and I learned invaluable lessons that I really think have helped me grow both personally and professionally. And my hope is that as you start your journey with Schiller, that you kind of have the same feeling and the same experience at the end of your studies. So that's it for me. Of course, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them, and you can always connect with me on LinkedIn if you have questions or need advice. I'm here to help.
Well, thank you very much, Cecilia. That was really, really interesting. There is somebody who is asking a question. Is it possible to obtain 2 certificates, the European and the American? What did you do? Did you have both, Cecilia? Did you take the American and the British diploma?
Yeah, so I got the Schiller degree and I completed my thesis as part of the requirements for the Roehampton degree.
Okay, so thank you very much. And you're now living in France?
Yes, I'm still in Paris.
And enjoying it in spite of the lockdown and the confinement. Paris is still Paris, and you are enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it, of course.
Thank you very much. And you have a name that sounds very French, so you can adapt easily, I suppose. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you will be able to give more advice to our students in digital business.
Yeah.
Xiao, you had a question for our student?
Yeah, it's more of a comment because today is the first time I saw Cecile after 3 years distance. The last time she was my student, last time when I saw her at Schiller when she was doing her MBA degree with us. I can still see vividly this small classroom, 4 students for my course. So I'm very proud to see how much you've accomplished so far. And I found you more confident, more well-versed today when you are sharing with us your life. So I'm both very touched and proud of you. And also for your information, the final assignment I gave you for that course, the handbook on employee orientation, your paper was constantly used as an example, a good one, not a bad one, for later students who are taking the course. So wow. Thank you for that, Cecile.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Clémence, we have a question for you, I think. It's someone asking, may we know when is the exact date for the September intake? Because it is being asked in the application form. Merci beaucoup.
Would be a question regarding the start date for classes, I suppose.
Yeah.
So usually the first day of the month would be either the 30th of August. So we have that first week of September in full. So yes, I think for September 2021, it will be the 30th of August. However, for the application deadline, that would be, let's say, 2 to 3 months in advance, because we of course have to keep in mind that the full application file has to be submitted. And of course, if you do require a visa, that visa process has to take place, which include first an appointment with Campus France if needed, then a meeting with the consulate, then the consulate will take sometimes few weeks to few months. We do not have that answer for you. So we really do have to keep that in mind, that application files, have to be submitted minimum 2 to 3 months in advance to your start date.
Thank you very much. And also maybe we can say that people can start almost whenever they want, every month. Sure.
So the monthly system has a lot of advantages. The main one being that you can start your classes whenever you want, which is most convenient for you. So if you want to start at an unconventional time, let's say February or even July, this is definitely something that is possible. You just need to let us know which month you are interested in, and we will be able to accommodate you and have you started whenever is more practical for you.
Thank you very much. And now we have Lala Samba, who is going to talk to us about presentation of student activities and housing and student services. And Lala, I think you will have to speak for Stone, our chair for student committee, who cannot join. I don't know why. We have some technical issues here. So if you can say a few words as well on this.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today. So I'll be speaking about the student services and what we can provide for the students, whether it's housing, help you or guide you to get your bank account, and also the activities that we are organizing as university, and the activities that the student body is also organizing and taking part in. So I will start off with the housing. We will guide you and help you and share practical information that you will need in order to find a suitable housing and accommodation once you land in Paris. At the moment, we're trying to get some partnerships with some housing agencies, and so far we were able to get a partnership with Istudin, and this will allow the students that are joining us in Paris to, if they would like to have an accommodation for a long term, they will be able to, if they're interested in these housing options, they will be able to have a facilitated procedure with an agency that will take care of them and that will guide them through it until they get the keys and be able to stay in their chosen apartment. So you'll be welcomed, and there will be some offers that will depend on the period that you will enroll and the time that you would like to have a place to stay in. And we are working on more partnerships that we will be able to share with our students once we have them. And regarding anything else with housing, if you need any help or if you have any questions, you will be able to get back to us and we will guide you through it. We know that sometimes it could be overwhelming for international students, not knowing how is the housing market in the destination country, but we will make sure to make it easier for you and to guide you through it. We also help you with everything that related to installing in France, such as opening a bank account in France, which you will be able to do once you arrive and you have your residence in Paris, because you will need that and you will need a document from the university, so we'll be able to provide you with that as well. And we also have, there's like a bank not far away from the campus, and there's an agent that will be able and glad to help you and in English, because our students are international and they would expect to have someone that will speak their language and help them through it, especially in these sensitive somehow matters like banking and housing. So we got you covered in this, and we will also help you if you'd like to go to any other bank. And if you need any further information, that will be able to will help you with that. Then I will move on to the activities that we have for our students. So we organize activities on campus and online, regardless of the restrictions. We're still trying to have our students engaged with other students, and because it's part of the academic experience, it's part of this journey, is that they will be able to have these extracurricular activities. So in the past month, we were able to organize 2 field trips here in Paris for our students, and we respected the sanitary measures. So it was a great opportunity for them to, with this hard time, to go out and actually benefit and learn new things. So it was revolving around sustainability, and they were accompanied by a professor who took them to a specific themed trip, and our student really liked it. Also, we have some global events that are organized by the other campuses or globally for all our students at Schiller, so they're able to attend them, and they might be academic events, or they might be entertaining, or to improve your and help you with your professional objectives. So we have all these types of events that we share regularly with our students in a calendar, and they can access them. And these are just some examples of the activities that we do as a university. Then I will move on to the Student Council, which is the student government body that was recently elected for this year. Unfortunately, the president of the Student Council was supposed to be speaking with us, but we had some technical issues. So I will just speak, we'll just give you a brief about the student council and their activities. So it's a composition of only students, current students in each campus. So in Paris, we have the body that was elected. So there's a president, vice president, and there's a secretary, a public relations manager, and they take care of everything that's related to the student council and the activities, planning the activities, suggesting anything that they would like to do on campus or outside of the campus. They organize events on campus. They organize some trips, and now they're trying to organize some online events for the students that will help them throughout this COVID-19 crisis. So it's a great opportunity for the students to be part of the student council, and also for the others to benefit from all these activities and have just this community of students that they're able to share their experiences with each other. And yeah.
Thank you very much, Lala. Thank you very much. And Stone is not online, but our president of the student council, but he's sending some comments. So he's adding to what you said about school trips and luncheons for students that we were able to keep here on campus. Even though there was a lockdown, we kept it with small groups, and it was really nice and gave an opportunity to our students to meet and create some links with each other. And also he's saying that you might be able in the future to join student government if you wish, and that it would be a great opportunity for you also to learn for your professional life in the future, to take some initiatives and responsibilities that would be really good for you.